When we began this pandemic, the inability to get people tested in a timely manner was a problem, and testing is once again an issue. The Pepsi Center testing site announced that they cap tests now at 2,000 a day, the idea being that allows them to get results to patients faster. Right now, testing results could take more than 4 days to get back to people. So what does that mean for people who need a test and the officials' ability to help control the pandemic? Our 9 health expert, Dr. Payal Kohli, joins me to weigh in. So what's the problem that you see as far as what's leading to long delays in getting results?
So, Tom, this is a huge problem, and really the problem is pretty simple, which is basically the demand is outstripping the supply. So as cases are going up and people are being advised to get more testing, more people are going for testing, and the supply is just not able to keep up. And a lot of labs are actually having to outsource their testing, and some are having to use, combine reagents and use supplies from other places. So how long it takes your test to come back actually depends on whether your lab is having to send it somewhere. And I've seen some tests take 9 to 14 days to come back. And this is, incredibly frustrating because it really does feel like deja vu all over again. Very early in the pandemic, we had a challenge getting timely testing. But this time around, you would have thought we would have, learned from our mistakes, and we would have used science to try to make it so that people could get testing. So Dr. Anthony Fauci has talked a lot about pool testing, which is a great strategy to really help with the supply of testing, which means that if 10 people go to get a test, instead of testing each 10 of them individually, you actually pool all of their samples together and then test all 10 samples at once. Now, if they all come out negative, you're done. You used one test kit to rule out 10 people. Now, of course, if they come out positive, then you do have to test each one of them individually. But I'm just a little surprised that we're not using more strategies like this to increase the supply of testing.
The problem being people don't know that they may be positive. They're mixing with other people. So if it takes several days, even more than a week at times, to get results back, is the test even all that useful?
Yeah, actually, it really isn't all that useful, because if you think about the day you got infected, and then it usually takes 5 days on average for your symptoms to show up. Then you go to get tested on day 5, let's say, and then let's say it takes 7 to 9 days for the symptoms to come back. You're already at that 14-day mark, which is the incubation period of the virus. So by the time you get your test back, you're no longer infectious. And one of the big reasons that we want to test is to really try to figure out who's infectious so that we can contain them and contain the spread of the virus. So if the testing takes so long to come back, it becomes irrelevant in helping us to slow the spread of the disease.
And so what are those implications if you look at it? If these long delays are going to be the norm, where does it leave us as far as trying to test the American population?
Unfortunately, it leaves us in a really bad place, because it really makes it so frustrating to get a test that people are a lot less likely to get tested. And testing is one of the best ways to control the spread of this pandemic. And in fact, one of the biggest mistakes that we made early in the pandemic was we were not able to test enough people, and we were not able to do it soon enough. And that's exactly how the pandemic got out of hand. So I really worry that we're making the same mistake again, and it may have been excusable the first time around because we were caught unawares and not sure what we were dealing with. But this time around, we know that testing works and helps to contain the spread of the virus. And it was a way for us to open up our economy safely. So the fact that people can't get the tests now that they need, and we're running out of supplies, or they're having to wait a week or 10 days to get their results, is going to be a serious barrier to opening up our economy safely.
And here we are in July, still struggling with testing. Dr. Payal Kohli, thanks as always.